So if you know what to do, it's incumbent upon you to do it.
God would love to hear the word. But Jesus is saying that hearing the word doesn't necessarily build the house.
So if you know what to do, it's incumbent upon you to do it.
I want you to actively engage in the process of trying to do what you hear.
So if you know what to do, it's incumbent upon you to do it.
Ask yourself the question personally. How much time you really waste? If you want to do something, work at it. You want a better relationship with God, work at it.
So if you know what to do, it's incumbent upon you to do it.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrive Time Show.
3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we'll show you.
Yes, 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 and yes. Thrive Nation, on today's show, we have got Paul Hood inside the Thrive Time Show studio. Paul Hood, welcome back to another edition of the Thrive Time Show on your radio.
Clay, I appreciate you making the opportunity for me to be here. You know, at Hood & Associates CPAs or hoodcpas.com, we thrive, if you will, thrive on helping other people. And one of the best ways we found to help them is to direct them to hear you speak.
Well, if you're out there today and you have been on the fence about attending an in-person Thrive Time Show workshop, Paul Hood here is making a sweet deal, a sweet offer for all the listeners out here. Paul, tickets are normally $250, but you're making the tickets available for how much? If our listeners will just subscribe to the podcast and leave a review, how much is it going to be?
I think it's what, $37.
$37.
Plus, we buy their lunch.
So you're gonna buy all the listeners lunch for both days. We got Andolini's.
Yes.
And we've got Los Cabos.
Los Cabos. That's some good eating right there.
And so Paul's paying all of the costs for you guys. All you got to pay is $37 for the workbooks. And you can attend. Paul, why would you do such a thing?
Well, you know, Clay, and I think, I go back and forth because I want people, they don't understand. The $37 could turn into millions of dollars in their pockets.
There you go.
And we want to make it easy for them to be here because once they're here, they're going to keep coming back. Not that you're trying to sell them anything, but they're going to be placed in an environment that they're surrounded by other hungry, diligent doers that are trying to just be successful, and they don't know where to turn. And once they come here, they see this is practical. I can go back to Missouri or California, wherever they came, and actually put these things into place, and to create revenue for themselves. And so it's an exciting opportunity to play a role in helping other people's, investing in other people's success.
If you come to our workshops, I mean, Andrew, we don't have any upsells, man. There's
true.
People always ask me on Friday, they're like, yeah, well, seriously, man, when's the upsell?
They're waiting. They're ready.
Seriously, I've heard people say that to me.
They'll ask,
On Saturday, they'll say, well, hey, when this ends here, is there a big push or what's the big...
What's the secret?
How do we sign up for some program? And I'm like, well, all we do, we literally can only coach 160 clients. And
True.
I saw one guy, he's like, well, when's the first I could be a client?
Yep.
And I'm like, well, October? But there's not... Our business model for what we do with our coaching program is very different. Now, with Paul's practice, his accounting practice, they can take on thousands of clients, and they do have thousands of clients in, Paul, almost 40 states now.
Yeah, about 40 states, so all over the place.
HoodCPAs.com can provide you accounting service all over the country. Now, Andrew, why do you believe that we seek to keep our coaching program small?
Yeah, so we can, be able to service and answer everyone's questions with the conferences. It's great to keep it at a limited amount of people, so we can answer everyone's questions, so everyone has a good chance to meet each other. So just that way, you get to know everyone, and it's easier to learn that way when there's not thousands of people mingling around.
Yeah, people can at the in-person workshops. You can write your questions on the whiteboard, and we actually answer the questions.
All
you
of
put
them.
your questions on on the board, we always answer each and every question, which we couldn't do if we had thousands of people attending.
Could I explain? Could I describe it in a word? It's intimate.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's business intimacy.
I agree with that. I think a lot of people will tell me, they'll say, I've learned more. We had one lady at the workshop who left a Google review. You can read it right now. She has a business degree, I believe, and a PhD, and she said she learned more at the workshop in 2 days than she learned during the totality of her formal education.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's actually, do this is the results. Do this is the results. Go here, do this, write this, and you're going to make more money. It's insane.
And we had probably, I want to say, Andrew, maybe 7 or 8 people that spoke at the conference that are testimonials, real life testimonials. Success stories, yeah. People that had really had success who we asked to speak at the conference, real clients. And Paul, isn't that great when you see people that are having success implementing what we're teaching?
Yeah. Well, we all have this mental picture of people that are successful. They're either lucky or they're extremely talented.
True.
And you come here and you see, that's just a normal dude, or that's a normal gal.
Yep.
And all they've done is followed a system. It's followed a pattern, and you've developed that pattern. And you everything from how to get started, how to create more revenue, how to manage, how to measure the results, how to maintain success. It's all right here.
If you want to attend the workshop, courtesy of a scholarship from Paul Hood, this is for anybody out there. You don't have to be in a tough spot financially. You don't have to pay anybody back. There's no complicated paperwork. All you have to do is leave an objective review about the Thrive Time Show podcast on either iTunes or the Google Maps. So just subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or find the Google Map by searching Thrive Time Show and the word Jinx. Leave a review and send a screenshot of that review to info@thrivetimeshow.com, and your tickets will be available for just $37. My name's Clay Clark, and I'm excited for you to hear this little audio dojo experience. You're going to get a chance to hear the audio from one of our most recent in-person Thrive Time Show workshops, so you can hear the kinds of things we teach, the kind of atmosphere we're creating, and I think it's going to bless you. So get out a pen and pad and prepare to enter into the entrepreneurial lab. And now, without any further ado, let's hop into the Thrive Time Show conference audio.
Excited to have you back. Thanks for showing up early, you sick freaks. I'm glad to have you here. I'm going to bring more energy than you guys have seen at 7 a.m. in a long time. And then at 11, we're all going to take some Tylenol PM and warm milk and take a group nap together. Then we'll have lunch, and then we'll finish out the conference. So it's going to be great. All right, again, thanks everybody for getting up and getting out here. We're going to start off today with a little mini session with Luke Owens from the Hub Gym. Luke Owens from the Hub Gym. He's a client of ours. A little round of applause for Luke Owens, everybody. Woo! Luke Owens in the house. All right, so Luke owns a gym in Broken Arrow called the Hub Gym. Luke, how long have you been working with Thrive?
I think we've been working together about 3 years now.
Going on 3 years. Luke and I started working together. He's now working with Clay directly. What are some of the things that we've helped you out with to get to you to the point you are today, Luke?
Well, a lot of it just has to do with building a system, period, right?
Right.
So when we started working together, you asked me something like, how many members do you have? And I'm like, I don't know.
Members? What are members? What are these?
Building the system to where we could track things.
So I want to take it all the way back. I think we met at the very first conference. Was that right?
I think so.
Yeah, the very first Thrive conference. We split up into some groups, and I ended up in the conference room with Luke and a couple of his business partners. And could you demonstrate the face for everyone that you were making at the time?
Well, I haven't made it in a while, so
it
I'm
might
not
be hard.
sure.
It might be hard.
Just imagine high stress, high blood pressure, pissed off, not wanting to be alive.
Something like this.
That was the face.
No microphone. And he goes, so what's your goal here, man? And I go, to help you get that look off your face. And 3 years later, here's my man right here. So to get going, some of the stuff that we helped Luke out with, you needed a website.
Yes.
We needed a website. We needed a Google Canonical compliant website. So we got him a website. Here it is. This thing converts. How many leads are you guys getting a week? Can we pull up your tracking sheet?
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
That cool?
Absolutely.
Andrew, can you pull up the tracking sheet for the Hub Gym? While he's pulling that up, so we'll just go. We got him a new website. We launched some digital ads. We built a one sheet with him. Let's see. We helped him out with his accounting. We helped him out with scripting. We helped him out with tracking, group interviews. Luke, talk about the group interview for a minute. Clay Stairs is going to get into this at 11 o'clock today, guys. This is one of the biggest systems that can change your life immediately.
Yeah, so group interviews were not something I was into at the beginning at all. I thought, I can barely interview one person. I don't know how I'm going to do multiple people at one time. But I can tell you that I don't waste as much time. We don't schedule out 10 interviews per day and then have 1 or 0 people show up. And it really, in my business, it's important to see how people interact with other people, right? So it's a teller when you have 10 people in the room and you start asking questions. The person that like sinks back, probably not going to be a good fit for our team.
My name's Eric. I'm excited to talk to you today.
Yeah.
You're a personal trainer? Yeah. Not good, right? So the group interview is great.
Not
You get to
ideal.
see how people are going to act in front of a group of strangers. Okay, Luke, we'll go over the tracking sheet because this is huge. This is something that if you guys are not doing this with your business, when we talk about tracking, when I talk to my clients, I talk about this is how you go from feeling about your business to knowing about your business. When I used to run the concrete company with my parents, the end of the week, end of the month, tell me if anybody's been here. My dad would come in, hey, how's this month looking? I feel like it's going good. Or I feel like it is not very good, man, because I didn't know how to track. I didn't know this. I have 2 business degrees. They ran the business for 35 years. Nobody taught us these simple steps, okay? So with tracking, the point of a tracking sheet is to measure what you treasure, okay? Money is literally treasure, so we obviously want to measure that, right? We want to measure the money. And anything else that you guys need to measure on a weekly basis. Finances. So right here, we're going to go from the left to right. We're going to lay out this tracking sheet real quick, and we'll show some of the growth and some of the success that Luke's had.
Check out that total number of members column.
Total members. Which one is that?
There's nothing in it.
Yeah, so when we started working in September a few years ago, it took us about 3 months to even start finding out how many members we had. Yeah. All right? Don't you guys laugh. I know there's some of you out there the same way. I was the same way with my business. So, okay, let's scroll down so we can see. As you'll see, this tracking sheet is not going to be perfect from the get-go. All right? We're going to keep adding, and you'll see these columns are all empty because we didn't have them yet. So as Andrew scrolls down, you'll see we started adding new fields, new things that we wanted to track every week. And so we started adding these things in. Keep going down, Andrew. I want to show. Let's scroll to the right for me, please. Luke, I use this a lot. You remember there was a time where you kind of took your eye off the ball for a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is good for everybody. Andrew, can you scroll around until this plus or minus you find something that says 4%?
Ooh, that was fun.
Keep scrolling on the column AD. Look for 4%. Something that says 4%. We're going to get there. Keep scrolling. Go up. Let's try going up. All right, so here's what's going to happen, guys. You're going to start tracking. You're going to start realizing, hey, my business is doing good. I'm growing. I'm doing well. I'm growing. Things are going good. Okay, stop. So for weeks above this, Luke been growing year over year, 30%, 25%, 27%, 18%. Things are going good. He's out of the business for the first time in 12 years. He's not in the business 60, 70 hours a week. He calls me up, hey, I'm thinking about getting into this partnership with a buddy of mine. I'm like, love it. Don't take your eye off the ball. Oh, no, man. Few weeks go by. I think you might have actually missed a couple meetings. I'm going to throw you under the bus.
I've never missed a meeting.
Okay, so that was my fault. I missed that meeting. No, I'm just kidding. So we start looking at the year over year, and the cool thing about tracking is we now have data to look at instead of talking about our feelings, right? So we're going over, and I'm like, Luke, the last 4 or 5 weeks, we've gone to 4%, 12%, 13, 7%. And around that 13% week right there, I remember Luke being like, all right, eyes back on the ball. And scroll down, Andrew. Look what happened whenever he got his focus back on. 43%, 21%, 17, 28, 30, 23, 35. Intense growth. The point I'm trying to make, everybody, is that all of these systems are proven. We're not teaching you guys anything that we made up. It works. But again, Maya Angelou says nothing works unless you do. And so that's why we wanted to bring Luke up to just be another example of somebody that has put the systems in action. Luke, what was some of your big pushback points from the very beginning?
Well, we can talk about this tattoo over here. It's pretty sweet.
Okay. That would have been a scripting pushback.
Yeah. So
right,
they were talking about scripting, and I thought, well, I'm an authentic person, and scripting is not authentic. It's robotic. I'm not going to do it. And I said, I've been doing this for like 10, 12 years at that time. I've got this. I can call leads. He said, great, do it now. I thought, oh, shoot, wow. And so he literally put a phone in front of me, and I called a lead. The lead was ringing. the phone picked up, and I'll just tell you, it was an answering machine, which makes it worse. And I start talking. Hey, this is Luke from the Hub Gym, and I go, shit. I don't know what to say. I'm literally saying this stuff, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. Like, what do I do? And I'm like,
and then he's like,
and I just hung the phone up.
Yeah. And
what does that mean? That's eternally on this woman's phone, right? And another one of the coaches came in and he said, what did you just do? You never leave voicemails, right? He said, why didn't you push the pound sign?
You can read
who the hell knows about pushing a pound sign? He said, well, that erases the message. It allows you to start over. That same day, I got a cool hashtag tattoo, so I never forgot
that moment,
being
right?
an arrogant ass. So
yeah, and so everybody that's over 30 knows that's a pound sign. Everybody else is like, a pound sign? I don't know what that is. So now Luke has an awesome hashtag symbol. So again, Luke, any advice for anybody if they've just started the program or if they're just trying to get their business going? They've been going for 10 years. What would you say to the people out there that are struggling right now?
Sure. So Clay called me yesterday and said he had been approached by a few people who asked the question, when do you know it's the right time to call it quits? And they weren't talking necessarily about business. They were talking about their life. And so he called me and asked if I would come to talk because 3 years ago, I was in a much different place. So I have an amazing wife, 3 amazing children, and that still was not enough to want me to continue to breathe, right? Because of the state of the business. So I walked into a coffee shop with my little notepad, and I'm going to write my last letter. And there's this redheaded dude sitting at a table, and he just keeps bugging the crap out of me about this conference. He was like, I just think it would help. I'm like, I don't want to go to a freaking conference. I don't want to be alive, right? But he is insistent, and he won't leave me alone. And I'm like, okay, show me what you're talking about. He turns his computer screen around, and I'm like, I know that guy. Clay and I went to college together, and I'm like, well, Clay's a cool guy. I guess I could call this off. And again, this is after about an hour of this man just like not leaving me alone. So the conference was a little while out, so I kind of had to put the plan on pause, right? And I came to the conference with that face, and I just decided like this sounds like something that could help me, right? So before I left, you know, Clay like darts off to some bat cave somewhere. Like I was on him like a heat-seeking missile. I'm like, I can't leave without talking to this guy and getting to doing life with him, or I won't be around, right? So I would advise none of you to do this, but I grabbed the man by the shoulder and spun him around. I'm like, I have to do life with you. Wow, that's neat.
It's real.
So anyways, if any of you guys are there today, it's worth it to keep going. I'm only 3 years into this program, and I'm living my best life. And that's not like, that's not bullshit. Like, that's for real. I'm living my best life.
I can vouch for that. Luke and I have become really close friends, and the guy is 180 degrees different person because he is now setting goals. He's accomplishing goals. His business is good. His family life is better. It's a huge thing. So like he's saying, just keep going. You can get there.
Yeah, and if you're seriously having those thoughts, like, when I break from here, let's chat, man, because you're worth it for sure. You know, I wear these shirts like this. I have a whole series of them, and it's like, I'm powerful, I am beautiful. And that's not a statement. I do make that about myself, but it's not an egotistical thing. Because every time that you read this, you're saying it about yourself, whether you know it or not. So anyways, when we go to break, if you need to chat, let's do that.
Business, whatever. Luke's here to talk. Cool.
Yeah, let's do
it. So, okay. Everybody give a round of applause for Luke, please. Luke Owens with the Hub Gym. The real deal. My man.
As a general rule, people that are trying to scam you make simple things complicated. So let me do an example. Is merit-based pay okay? You want to fix teachers? Do merit-based pay. As an example, who went to high school? Oh, okay. Can you pull my microphone down by about 25%? So high school, remember? High school. I want you to just open up to page 0 and write down the name of your best teacher. I had one teacher that played a video all the time. Who had the video teacher? They play the video? Who's had the video? Charles, you had a video teacher? Now for history, we're going to watch a video like about like Braveheart or something, or just, so there's great, who here can picture in your mind your best teacher? You can picture him right now? Now who can picture the worst teacher? Now here's the thing, Steve Jobs talked about this. If you want to fix teaching, all you do is you put in merit-based pay. So you say, if your students score poorly, you make less. If your students score more high, you make more. Bottom line. And the teachers would say, but what if my class is a different class that's kind of not as good? And what if your class is better? And what if, that's called accountability, that's called cause and effect. Who knows what I'm talking about? But if you want to fix the school system, you just do merit-based pay. So we've had different teachers with our kids, and you know what we do if they're not good? We fire them. It's amazing. We've had music teachers. We had one guy who likes to charge a lot but not show up a lot, and we fire him. It's called merit-based pay. It's called capitalism. It's called reward. It's called results. It's called cause and effect. We're getting this idea? So what I want to make sure we're getting today is as we move on and we start implementing these things like Google and Google optimization, and we start to do, it's a cause and effect thing. If you learn all that stuff and you don't write those articles, you're not going to come up top. And then what you'll do is you'll want to make it complicated because you know what to do, but now instead of doing it, you're looking for some way to justify doing nothing because you want to go watch The Voice with your poor ass self. So you and your poor ass self are sitting there watching The Voice talking about how you don't have time to write articles. That's what it is. So if you know what to do, it's incumbent upon you to do it. So if you know what to do, it's incumbent upon you to do it.
God would love to hear the word. But Jesus is saying that hearing the word doesn't necessarily build the house.
So if you know what to do, it's incumbent upon you to do it.
I don't want you to just, I'm losing them, Lord. It's going to be tough this morning. I want you to actively engage in the process of trying to do what you hear.
So if you know what to do, it's incumbent upon you to do it.
Ask yourself the question personally. How much time you really waste? If you want to do something, work at it. You want a better relationship with God, work at it.
So if you know what to do, it's incumbent upon you to do it.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard. And you have to do it over a sustained period of time. One
of my clients is a pastor. And I remember one time he goes, you know the difference between me and you? And I said, what? He goes, as a pastor, when people leave my church, I don't follow up. I don't say, did you actually do it? And I don't fire people that don't act upon it. Because if I did that, I would have a very small church. Think about that. So I'm just talking, there's a difference between knowing what to do and doing it. So I wanted to bring up a couple diligent doers who happen to be here, people just like you, me, who the only difference between them and us and all of us is that they implement like a boss. Like you go, wow, this person. So where is my Venezuelan friend, Giancarlo? Where are you? Giancarlo, come on up here, you sick freak. Yeah. Now, Aaron, you're rocking that mic. Giancarlo, you're there. Aaron's a diligent doer. Giancarlo, let's grab that mic right there. You're on that mic. Okay. And then just kind of make your way over there. So he's from Venezuela. It's just right off the coast of Okmulgee, just really near here. It's just unbelievable. You guys got to see it. It's wow. Okay. So how long have you worked with Kolaw Fitness there, the super fit family back there?
About 6.5 years.
6.5 years?
Yep.
And before joining Kolaw, were you a search engine wizard?
I was not. I had no idea what SEO meant.
Okay. So we start there. Who could relate to that part? You're like, don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Who can relate to being from Venezuela? Yes! Venezuelans love us. Woo! Okay, great. I knew that would happen. Okay, great. All right. So now, how many articles does your team write a week?
About 40 to 55 every single week.
Whoa. How did you find the time? Okay, let's go ahead and do a Google search for Joplin gyms. Now, how many of you, if you lived in Joplin and you're looking for a gym, might type in Joplin gyms or gyms in Joplin or something like that? I mean, anybody? Show of hands. I'm going to pick on people, and don't group think. I want you to write down what you would type in. So go ahead and write down what you would type in on page 0. Write down what would you type in to Google But don't speak it. Do not speak it, because otherwise you're going to ruin my case study here. Don't look at the person next to you. Otherwise you're going to mess it all up. Don't. Some of you are cheating. Okay, just write it down. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to pick on you, Miss Bronson. What is your name? Ashley, who is an entrepreneur and is a mom, and it's Ashley. Ashley, who's a mom and an entrepreneur. I don't understand that. If I ever found myself pregnant with another body, I would give up. I can't do it. I don't know how you hit 3 times? 4 times. Look at her. If I had 4 kids, I would just quit trying. I would just cry. Congratulations, you did it. Okay. So what word would you type in? You would do Jims and Joplin. By show of hands, who would do that? I would never do that. Oh, let's type in Jims and Joplin. But I would never do that. You know why? Because I type in Joplin Jims. Because I do it the right way. Okay. So you type it in. And then who comes up top? Giancarlo, could you read there? Who comes up top and who has the most reviews?
Cola Fitness.
How many reviews do you have?
2,864.
How much does the next sad company underneath you have?
215.
Yeah, and you might say, Clavis, I don't like your attitude. I don't like you. And I would say, okay. I don't like how competitive you are. I don't like the fact that this is why I only work with one client in every industry in a city, because I will destroy the other people. But you've got to find a way today to get whatever that needs to happen to channel what he's got going on here. Now, you guys do how many articles again a week?
40 to 55 every week.
And are these people who are fitness experts? Are these personal trainers? Who's writing these articles?
Front desk staff, regular entry-level staff that work for us.
And what do you pay these people per hour?
$10 an hour.
$8 or $10 an hour. But this is what I see. I see a lot of entrepreneurs who are like, well, I have to write the content myself. And I go, that's great. I affirm that. That's wonderful. And then you follow up next week. That's what we do. And you say, did you write it? And they go, I ran out of time because my kids had a soccer game. But see, no one gives a crap about your kid's soccer game. They're just going to go with who's top in Google. And we can't make it complicated, because that's what we want to do. When we don't do stuff, we make it complicated. We're like, well, really, I wanted to write content, but I didn't have my second monitor hooked up yet. And I also struggle with dyslexia. I'm dyslexic. You know how hard it is for me to write things? It's terrible. I hate writing things. I write multiple books, but I hate it. Every time I'm like, oh, gosh, why is this my life? But then when I get it done, I like that. Does that make sense to you guys? So what I wanted to do is I wanted you guys to ask any questions that you have for Giancarlo or Aaron Antis, because Aaron Antis was once an intoxicated Domino's employee, and now he's sold. That's a great intro, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you for that intro. That was awesome.
But it's still above a DJ. I was a DJ. So remember, there's intoxicated Domino's employees. Then there's carnies.
Intoxicated delivery driver.
Right.
That's even scarier.
So, I'm just real stuff. If you're charting in the org chart of life, there is intoxicated Domino's employees who are driving. Then there are carnies, and then there are DJs. I was at the bottom. Okay. So this guy, Shaw Homes, they've sold $850 million of houses. $850 million of houses. They're over here. And this is Koloff Fitness, thousands of members going against, now you were going against big companies that were already here. You're going against Planet Fitness. They're both winning, which is why they're going to be paying for our lunch today. Just kidding. But they're both doing great. Do you have any questions about implementation? Because you're here, and if you don't get it, that means I'm a bad teacher. Nobody here is a bad student. Does anybody have any questions for this? Yes. Great. Great. Grand. Wonderful. Terrific. Tremendous. Eric, what do you got? Okay, when you're writing your content, what do you guys write about? So real quick, let's do Jims and Joplin. Okay, we searched for that. Let's go back to that. Okay, and we saw Cola comes up number 1. We're doing it right now, by the way. I'm doing right now what you just asked. So if you see they come up 1 and then scroll down. There they are. Boom, boom. Ooh, Planet Fitness is ahead on that one. For that term.
We're coming.
If you scroll down, there they are. So you see, Joplin is, Colaw's there 3 times. You guys see that? They have 3 listings in the results. 30% of the results. If you scroll down to the very bottom, Google suggests what terms people also search. So picking on you, sir. Your dad is a police officer. You're probably a well-disciplined man. You're probably afraid of your dad at all times. Okay, sir, what would you type in to Google? And don't get it wrong, because your dad is a member of the law enforcement community. Go for it. What would you type into Google? What would you type in? For the gyms, for Joplin. What would you type in? I'm going to come back to you. What would you type in, ma'am? Gyms in Joplin? Who would type in something different? Personal trainer. Now, real quick, because he doesn't do that, that's correct, but because they don't do that, we wouldn't optimize for that. But Jim, what would you type in? Workout centers in Joplin. Now, I'm going to be real with you. I would never, ever do that. But that's another keyword. You see what I'm saying?
And you've got those people who are driving down the road and they're talking to Siri and saying, Siri, please find me the best place where I can work out in Joplin.
So what you have to do is,
Long-tail.
so for Elephant in the Room, I sat down with our customers, actual talking to people. You mean real people? Yes. And I said, what would you type in? What would you type in? What would you type in? And you know what? Almost nobody does the same thing. So now we have a list of like 200 keywords, and we go for all of them, and we come up top for all the different keywords. And Bruce Clay, who writes SEO for Dummies, they've done the research. It shows that 8 out of 10 people search for something different than the main thing. Does that make sense? That's called long tail keywords. Are you getting this idea? So does that help? Does that answer your question?
Yes, kind of. It's the actual writing of the articles, I think.
Now, the writing of the articles, this is what you write. Who, what, when, where, why, how, call to action. I repeat. Who, what, when, where, why, how, call to action. Who, what, when, where, why, how, call to action. It has to be 1,000 words. It doesn't have to be great. You know why? Because people can't write great. And if you could write great, people won't read it. This is my little test for you. Next time you go to a friend's house, do it. Don't say I said to do it. No, wait. Say that I said to do it. That way you're not a jerk. Go to their house and go, Greg, Carl, you got some great books. Have you read the entirety of the book? I mean, honestly. And they'll go, no. Really? No. Then go to the next book. This is another great book. I love this book. Winning by Jack Welch. Have you read this book? Yeah. The whole thing? No. There's this awesome book here called the Bible. Have you ever read the whole thing? No. I would never do. Have you read any of the books you have? No, I just buy them. It's like decoration that says, I must be smart. I must be smart. He must be smart. But reading a book is different than like actually owning a book. Are you getting the idea? So people go to sites and they don't really go do what you think they're going to do. So I would recommend, I don't make any commission for doing this, I would recommend you install Lucky Orange on your website. And can you pull that up there? Any other questions for Giancarlo or Aaron Antis? Because these guys dominate for years. Google just tries to catch scammers. So if you're if you're just copying and pasting, they have a new thing that's going to catch that. Any questions about writing content? Because this is, anybody? Any questions about how to write content? Who can write content? When to write content? Where to write content? No questions? We good? So everybody feels like you could leave here and do it?
Question on the back.
Question in the back. Yes. How many people are writing your 40 to 50 articles?
We have 2 to 3 people, just because they're not full-time doing that, but 2 to 3 people.
Writing content. Any other questions about that? Yes, sir.
We want to make them at least 1,000 words.
Google, if you get a chance to Google it, Bruce Clay, Search Engine for Dummies, is the most intense book I've ever read, and I read really slow. So you should see what I did. Chuck can vouch for this. I'll sit there and circle it, and I'm like, what does HTTPS mean? Oh, no, because I can't move on. That's when I read the Bible at ORU. You had to read the Bible, so I read the Bible. I remember reading the whole Bible, and I remember going, Nephophilium? What is that? I talked to my teacher. He's like, well, it's where the angels came down and mated with humans. And I'm like, that's in the Bible? And then the firmament, the water dome that surrounds the earth. I'm like, are we saying that we believe that the earth was actually surrounded by a dome of water? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I'm having a hard time. Like, Jonah freaked me out, the whole story. I'm like, a guy in a whale? How big was the whale? I can't move on. I obsess on the details, So I'm just saying is the whole search engine concept, it can get overwhelming if you make it overwhelming, but you just want to sit down and write 1,000 because Google says you should write 350. Google says you should write 350 words per page. So you would want to do 1,000 because it's 3 times almost more. And that way you rank higher. Because most people in America do just enough. So all the other guys are writing 350. So you're doing 1,000. Make sense? That's the move. That's my little hack. A little life hack. Do more than expected. Yep. Let's pull up Lucky Orange here. Now, Lucky Orange, and I'm going to let Giancarlo explain how he uses this after I show you how I'd recommend you use it. Because nobody uses Lucky Orange more than Cola. Like they're our favorite client ever as it relates to using Lucky Orange. So if you look though, if you guys all see this, you see Lucky Orange, it shows you where they're actually clicking on the site. They're heat maps. So you see that nobody, I mean, when I say nobody, that's not like hyperbole. That's not me just exaggerating. That's not me over here Trump-tastic. This is me being like conservative. This is me being like Ben Carson. This has been America, nobody is clicking here.
You know, we have to start thinking about what's important.
This is Ben Carson. I would like to be president. I'm a neurosurgeon. I'm a heart surgeon. I'm a cardiologist. I'm very measured. I'm very calm. This is America here. We need healthcare reform, immigration reform. Right here, no one clicks here. This is Trump-tastic. Nobody freaking clicks. I'm not going to go as far as to say you'd be a freaking idiot to write articles here, but some would say, my top advisors have told me to say, and I'm not going to say it, I would not go as far as to say.
I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there.
States, I like scrutiny, but you know what? When I raise money, excuse me, I've watched you on television. You're a real beauty.
One of the officials, actually one of the ex-officials from Mexico, had a news conference, and he announced that we will not be paying for the wall. Who does Mr. Trump think he is? They came to me, the press, these people, look at all those cameras back there. The press came to me, and they told me that he said he would not pay for the wall. Do you have a comment? I said, yes. The wall just got 10 feet taller.
I'm not going to say it. I would not go as far as to say you'd be a freaking idiot to spend your time writing this. But some had said I should. What was the question? Do you want Ben Carson? Do you want Trump? What do you want? I don't know. However you want to get it. You want a Bostonian? I swear, nobody ever freaking clicks here, lady. Quit writing the content. That's that. Or if you want to be, country redneck, well, I'll tell you what, it doesn't look like anybody's, because in the country you go slower. Oklahoma, we go a little slower. Well, nobody seems to be clicking over here. If you would like a Minnesotan, oh, don't you know, nobody seems to be clicking over here. But it could be worse, Barb. So, but you just scroll down. Go down here. Go down south. Oh, go down. Keep going. Oh, don't you know? Oh, you betcha. So you look on the site map, and no one seems to be clicking there, Bjorn. Because everyone in Minnesota is Bjorn. I grew up there. Oh, Bjorn. Rauschendorfer. Doesn't seem like, is anybody biting? Because everyone fishes all the time. They're fishing all the time. 24/7 people are fishing. Some are fishing while they're at their job. They're fishing, ice fishing. Oh, no one seems to be biting there, Bjorn. Now, this person said, no, people do click there. And I said, yeah, but it's people with your IP address because it tracks that. It is you to prove me wrong. She's like, you're right. I'm sorry. This is stupid. People get all emotional about stuff that doesn't matter. I'm like, what the crap? Like, why are we getting emotional about paying teachers who suck less? Why is that an emotional idea? Why is balancing the budget emotional? Why are we like so, oh God, I don't want to balance. Why is like firing somebody so emotional? If someone sucks, fire them, but they're my cousin. Well, then uncousin them. Whoa. Seriously, I have fired family. I love it. It lets you know. You say, should you hire family? Hire family, and then fire family, and then know you don't need to see them anymore. You'd fire your own brother? Absolutely, because it says in the Bible, wise counsel, look that up, wise counsel Proverbs, right? It says, he who walks with the wise becomes wise. It doesn't have a disclaimer that says, walk with the wise unless they're family. Jackasses are jackasses, but just look at the data. So if you click here on segments, click there, segments, and it shows you where people are coming from. So click on source. It appears as though if you look at the spreadsheet and the pie chart and the Google Analytics report, who gets the Google Analytics reports that have no idea what those say? Who's got that report? The spreadsheet, and you're like, I have no idea what's going on here. Honestly, who's got that from a marketing company? And you're like, come on, to be honest, you're like, see, that's the thing. You have no idea. I got this spreadsheet and this pie chart from Google. I got the new analytics. And you're like, honestly, who says I have no idea what the crap that is? I meet entrepreneurs all the time who are like, I've been getting reports for years, and I feel like maybe you should give me a report too. And I'm like, I'm not going to give you a report because you're not going to look at it. I'm not going to look at it, but we'll give you Lucky Orange and you log in whenever the freak you want. But I'm not going to send you a report that you're not going to read. That's stupid. That's called college. Everybody remember some things and then put it on the paper and then forget it, and then we'll see you next week, and we'll do that for 4 years talking about papyrus and cuneiform, and then we'll give you a degree that's not usable at all. So you can become a barista. And if you work your whole life, you'll pay off the debt when you're 50. Oh, okay. Why? So then you can retire. Why? So you can enjoy your freedom when you don't have the body to enjoy it? I don't know. Oh, God, holy crap. I mean, it's just a stupid idea. So anyway, so if you look here, that's how that data works. Now, Giancarlo, how do you use it? I'm going to go to Aaron. How do you use it? So Giancarlo, how do you use that data?
We check it every week.
And just eat that mic like a passion.
We check it every week on all of our pages, and we see how customers interact. There's the heat map, and then there's also videos of what people are actually doing. And every week it's like, hey, we're going to try to do this video here. We think it's going to be really good. 3 weeks pass by, and it's like not a single person clicked on it. Let's get rid of it. Let's try something new and see what works.
But here's what's cool about Giancarlo. They'll make a video, right, with passion. And if the video, no one clicks it, Giancarlo doesn't get emotionally attached to it and say, but I made it myself. Because that's called a baby. Little baby. They should not be entrepreneurs. You got to get off the field. We're playing linebacker here. I got hit because you're a linebacker. Get off the field. I got hurt, though. Entrepreneurs don't call in sick. They don't have a sick day. I haven't been sick in, 19 years? Who here hasn't had a sick day in a few years? Remember the day you were sick, though, but you weren't sick, you just showed up anyway? You got like syphilis and swine flu, and you got like the wild turkey leg or some indiscernible disease, and you're still there working. You got a rash covering your body. You got chicken pox. You got like cancer in your earlobe. They're currently amputating your earlobe, and you're still working. Who can relate to that? Yeah, so if you're an entrepreneur, you just shut the hell up and you work. Would you get paid time off? That's not an entrepreneur question. Okay, so
hey Clay, I want to jump in. I can tell you how we saved $25,000, or would have saved $25,000 by paying $10 a month for this.
Oh, tell us.
So I had this grand idea. I thought people would love to have interactive floor plans that they could change and redesign and save it and all of this.
And the marketing company says you should.
Oh, the marketing
you should
company
do
that
it.
we were working with, they were like, this is the most valuable thing you're ever going to have. Everybody's doing it.
And we could make it for you for $25,000.
It's only $25,000 to add that to your website. So one of the interesting things was when Clay pointed this out to me and I jumped on Lucky Orange, guess how many of our clients, I mean, we have like 3,600 to 5,000 people a month on our website. Of that, guess what the grand total of people interacting with our interactive floor plans was?
Juan?
0. So we literally have this tool on the website for $25,000 that nobody spent any time on.
Also, if you listen to the founder of Instagram on his interview with Tim Ferriss, he explains that Instagram used to have all these features, and he realized that nobody used any of them, so he got rid of them except for the one people use, and now that's what Instagram is. It's just a feature of the big thing. So you can listen to that interview. But anyway, I just want to make sure we're getting this idea. So that data, though, you just track it and then you move on. But what happens if you're not careful, the person who made the video will fight you about removing the video that no one watches. And I can relate, because a lot of times I get really spiritual about a project, and I'm like, oh, this one's going to be hot. And then John will go, nobody ever clicks it. And I'll say, but can we keep it? And he's like, why? Because put a lot of time on it. It's just, it's just, I don't know. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. We get emotionally attached to crap that doesn't matter. Does that make sense to you guys? Getting the same page? Yes, ma'am. That's what I've been advocating for months, maybe a year. Yeah, the content just makes you the top of Google, but no one ever reads those things. The only time that's different would be like if you write for Psychology Today, or you're a thought leader of something. Like if the pastor himself did a blog, people would read that because he's the pastor. So if it was the pastor's blog, you wouldn't want to delegate that. Jennifer, for your business, I was advocating for you to maybe do like a YouTube show and then transcribe it because you have a viral connection with your customers. She has a home decor business in Houston, kind of like a Hobby Lobby on steroids, and people come in there to buy knickknacks and decorative things. And for you, having a YouTube channel where you display new items and then transcribe it, that's a great thing for you because you have that connection with your audience. For you, Mr. CrossFit, I would do something like that too, where you're doing like a podcast so people can listen to while working out, and it encourages them. And it's just like a 15-minute daily podcast that encourages people. So you have a connection with your people as you get bigger. So they're listening to you every day while they're working out. That's a great thing, and you just transcribe that. But people aren't going to really read it too much. Does that make sense? Yeah. The software I recommend you use is Rev, rev.com. And John, how much is it per minute? $1 a minute per Rev, and it's like a human that actually types it up, probably in India. And then, no, seriously. And then a lot of these programs are. And then Timmy is an artificial intelligence. And Timmy's like 10 cents a minute, right, John? If you ask what I do in my downtime, which people ask sometimes, nothing but work. Hang out with my kids and work. I know nothing about anything. I don't go out to eat. I don't watch sports except for the Patriots. But when Bill Belichick retires, I'll probably turn off sports entirely. I'm just interested in like how it works. So can I pull up your website real quick? Okay. Is that cool? What's your website? Yeah. As it relates to growing a business, I know how to do that. It's very easy. Whether it's a bank, Regent Bank, the auto auction, Z66, whether it be a sleep center, A to Z medical, haircuts, elephant in the room, whether it be carpet cleaning, OxyFresh, insurance. Bronson, are you growing? Are you here, Bronson? Is he growing? Is your husband growing? He's growing. Okay, he's growing. We know what we're doing here. So with your site, let's pull it up. What's your website? Flygreater.com. And we'll do a break here right at 9, but I want to make sure I'm answering all web questions. Okay. Flygreater. F-L-Y, and then greater. Okay.
Public typing.
It's awesome every time. Okay, so I'll make a list of homework for you right now. Okay? 1, at the top left, your site does not have the HTTPS encryption on it, so you'd want to add that. Okay? That's your first ding. It's the HTTPS. It's in that checklist we gave you. You want to add that. And if you go to YouTube real quick, on the Macklemore video on the far left tab, you see how it has the, go to colawfitness.com. Yeah, you'll go there. Got it. So we want to make sure. Anyway, we just want to make sure it's on there. We'll do an audit. It could be on. I just make sure that it's on there, okay? Make sure it's on there. Most of the time it's not. Go back. Your site right here, this looks great. This looks great. Put a video right here. Now, I think you inspire confidence, but if you don't feel like you do, hire Linda Lehman, that's a company in Tulsa, and get like a model, like an actor dude who's got gray hair. No, I'm being real. How old are you, by the way? That's the problem. You look very young, which is good. You're probably eating kale all the time, probably never cheating on your diet, you sick freak. But if you had somebody who had like a little more salt and pepper in the hair, you know what I mean? Like a kind of a, you'd want to get that guy on there. And he's like, or if you're on there, be very confident. You can do it, but I mean, it's got to be like, you can't be like, not that you would, but it can't be like, at flygreater.com, we believe in. And a lot of people, when they shoot a video, they kind of do that. We believe in having a great time. We're safe. So you want to have somebody with confidence. So you'd say at flygreater.com, and I'll show you a commercial in just a second, but you put a video right here. And then your no-brainer, let's see if we have one. Scroll down. Okay, party foul. Scroll back up. You want to have your no-brainer offer right here. Because your no-brainer is what? You're saying anybody in this room who wants to do flying lessons, learn how to fly a plane with you, the first 3 lessons are free? What does that mean? Okay, so the first 3 lessons are free, though. Who here is kind of interested in maybe learning to fly? A couple people, show hands. Look around. These are your leads. So when you go to the site, remember, people don't read. So you want the headline, because it's called hieratic scaling. People just read. That's what a headline is. It's hieratic scaling, the most important thing first. So you would say, get rid of Flygreater, and say, your first lesson, 3 lessons free. And then underneath it, put read our reviews. Like a safer way to learn, read our reviews. Who would be kind of concerned that you might die? So I'd put, again, first 3 weeks free, a safer way to learn, read our reviews. That's all I do. And have a play button. Cool? And the play button, we'll get into more details for you. But you want to put your phone number. Is your phone number at the top? You want to put your phone number where it's a click to call at the top right. So it's a click to call. That'll get you more calls. Cool? And then if we go into Dropbox and find the Joel David commercial. And then Aaron, on the Shaw Home site, has it a little bit blown your mind how little people click around on that site?
Yes.
How many homes are you building right now? New homes.
Currently?
Yeah.
Under construction, about 160 right now.
So you're building 160 houses. How much does the average house cost?
$282,000.
So 282 times, somebody do a calculator. 282 times, what's that number? 282,000.
Times 160.
Times 160. What's that floating around right there? So $45 million of stuff's going on, and we got people who bringing in like, $400,000 a year who are going, I don't know if it works. The word I would say is fiddle-dicking. Cool? And then back to Mr. Police Officer. We were talking about your business. Do you you went to class to learn how to shoot weapons and stuff, right? I thought about you last night, and I shouldn't. See, that's why the problem with these conferences is I can't sleep very well because I'm like, I got to help my man. This is what I would do. This would be the business that I would do for you. I would do like self-defense classes, and if you don't like it, you can do something else. But self-defense classes so you can leverage your knowledge. Because as a member of the law enforcement community, there's nobody more trusted, in my opinion, than you. You know, so if it's like, my name's Gary and I have a lot of guns, I think it's scary. I worry about Gary's AR class. Like, Gary, why do you have 47 weapons? Because my constitutional right to protect my family. Well, I'm sure if the burglar came in, any one of these 15 guns could kill them. Why do you have a whole closet full of them? Well, with Obama, the bullets are going to be banned here soon. Like, okay, well, you know, I get it. But if you're a police officer and you're like, hey, I'm a father, I'm a dad, the whole reason I'm doing the self-defense classes, so in the event of an emergency, you can go hide in a room, hide behind a door, you know, while you're calling 911, and then give somebody a blasty blast if they come through that door. You know what I'm saying? And I would go to your class. How many people would go to a class like that if it was taught by a police officer? Show of hands. Look around. Story, you got to stand up real quick and look around. Just make sure you get a good look there. Look around. See? So we'd be buying that thing. You see what I'm saying, though? Because I've got kids. Who here has kids? You ever been broken into before? Oh, I have. It's fun. So, but the one time it happened, I was out DJing, and my wife was home by herself. And so we called 911, and the Broken Arrow police did a good job, but they got there about 15 minutes, you know? And I wish it would have been like 15 seconds, like microwave police, like boom, beam me up. So we went to a self-defense class, and my wife can shoot every target, and I'm shooting like a parrot on the shoulder of the... And the instructor's like, if you were shooting a parrot on the shoulder of the guy, you would be on fire, but currently you've yet to hit him. And it's because I watch too many like Boys in the Hood movies. I'm like... That's why there's not more deaths in the gang shootings, because they shoot this way. Someone's got to hook them up and say, go this way, you'll kill more people. Okay. But snap! You know what I mean? And it's just like, you're the worst ever. You know, my wife just, bam. I'm like, God, I left afraid of her. But all I'm saying is, people would pay for that, though. And that's a real problem you can solve. And it's very inexpensive to start, and then you're in business. And you say, well, how do I do it? Well, get you top of Google. How long does that take? 90 days. You'll be top in Google for Tulsa. If you type in Tulsa self-defense, I did research last night for you because I'm a sick freak. So if you type in Tulsa self-defense, I'm serious. When I leave this conference, when I talked to Jennifer the first time, I'm like thinking about her business before that call. That's how I do it. So if you type it in. So all you got to do is get, oh, that's so easy. How many of you would sign up for a free class if he was offering one today? Seriously, in Tulsa? See? So we'd sign up today, and then you're like, well, Clay, I don't have classes yet. Like, that's cool. Put us on the waiting list in October. We show up. If it's good, we leave you a review. Now you're top in Google. Money cometh. Money cometh, you know. I went to ORU. We say that all. Money cometh. Money. So money, you know. Sow the seeds. Money cometh. Here we go. All right. Tenfold return. And all of a sudden, money's coming back in for you. All right. And then you wow people, and it keeps happening. Your overhead's very low. And you might say, well, where would I conduct this class? At a cheap place. There's a lot of cheap places. A lot of buildings aren't that much. Maybe $1,200 a month. We'll get you an office warehouse in Broken Arrow. Look up the various laws. I'm sure you know them, and you talk to your city people, you know. And then all of a sudden, you're up in business, and you're kicking butt. Because I know, and I'm not ripping the specific one, but you can take your guess. I've talked to 2 of these people, and they're morons. Because they called me and said, hey, we want to get more money. And I'm like, okay, you got to do this. And they're like, no. Why? Because we want to make less money. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's like they don't want to get Google reviews. They don't want to write articles. They said one guy said his marketing company told him Google's changed. Meanwhile, you could beat them up real fast. Is that good? That's the move. And what's your first name? What do you call it? Police. It's like something like Patrick's. Come on, Patrick. What do we? Patrick's, maybe protection. Patrick's self-defense course. Patrick's Protection Palace. Learn firearm safety from the police.
Personal protection from Pat.
Personal protection from Pat. PPP. Triple P. Put 3 P's. Pop, boom, boom. So we could do that. You got something going there? Oh, wow. You're getting ready to go? Okay. But you feel good about that? You feel good about that? Could you own that idea if you left here? Could you do it? Now, let me tell you the same interaction I had with somebody. There's this guy over here, Thomas. And Thomas, when I advocated for you to quit your job as an ambulance driver, or ambulance, what were you doing? Paramedic? Kind of similar. I said, you should quit your job. And what were you first thinking? Right. So we made a lot of sales first, and then how much sales were you doing before you quit your job? $20,000 a month before he quit his job. Now, you don't have to quit your job. You can just do it on the weekends or whenever your wife approves. And because your wife is right all the time, you just talk to her first. Don't talk to me. Talk to her. And then, and then customers are going to call and go, you don't offer any classes on Wednesday nights. What's your problem? You're like, well, because I'm at church or whatever your wife says you're doing. And just offer openings when your wife approves it. And that's what the key, because happy wife, happy life. That's my one marriage tip. You feel good about that? So if you know what to do, it's incumbent upon you to do it.
God would love to hear the word. But Jesus is saying that hearing the word doesn't necessarily build the house.
So if you know what to do, it's incumbent upon you to do it.
I don't want you to just, I'm losing them, Lord. It's going to be tough this morning. I want you to actively engage in the process of trying to do what you hear.
So if you know what to do, it's incumbent upon you to do it.
Ask yourself the question personally. How much time you really waste? If you want to do something, work at it. You want a better relationship with God, work at it.
So if you know what to do, it's incumbent upon you to do it.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard. And you have to do it over a sustained period of time. And
now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom!
Attend the world's best business workshop led by America's #1 business coach for free by subscribing on iTunes and leaving us an objective review. Claim your tickets by emailing us proof that you did it and your contact information to info@thrivetimeshow.com.